You're listening to Life Check Yourself with life coach, transformational leader, and dating and relationship badass, Marni Batista. Every week, you'll get the raw truth from top experts and real people on the important life and love issues you want to know about. So if you're ready to life check yourself in your relationships, your career, and the areas of your life that matter most to you, and you're not afraid to be called out on your stuff, then you're ready for what's next.
Life Check Yourself with Gillis and Dr. Emily. The subtle and not so subtle ways you are sabotaging all your relationships. Okay, this is a special emergency episode of Life Check Yourself with Dr. Emily and Gillis because I might have seen the best episode of The Bachelorette in like a decade.
Whoa.
Wow. Bold claim.
That is.
I was leaning forward, like watching it, like, oh my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Yeah.
What was so different before we get into the nitty-gritty details about it that had you leaning in? And because you're usually all piss and vinegar bullshit, same old, same old. What was it this time that got you all jacked up?
I think it was, well, okay, so there's a line, and I don't know if you guys noticed it, where Gabby says to a producer off camera, I just thought he would just play along.
Oh, you're so good at catching all the money.
He was talking about Jason, and she says, like, I thought he would just play along. And the reason why I thought it was the best episode ever is because somebody sent out a memo and was like, we just want to get some fucking followers, like, sell the Fit Fab Fun box. Like, I don't fucking want to be engaged, but this is now a career to be an influencer. I'm going to apply to the best reality show that is a match for me. I have no interest in getting engaged. And what's cool is they're not playing along. I love it. Yeah. They're not. It's like, nah, I don't even want to go through the whole thing. I'm going to go to the.
I see why you loved it. I know what Marni loved them breaking the rules and calling them ABC on their bullshit and saying fuck this. Yes, 100%.
Okay, I do like it for that reason. And yeah, there was another thing. Gabby, we were talking to Jason, said something about like you have to kind of buy into she said hopeless romanticism. I was like, oh, that was a slip.
Oh, they broke the fourth wall. So it's never been we've never seen a series like this where they're like looking into the camera, or they're just like, okay, they're like pointing out all the annoying microphones above their heads, and they're really shit on how fake and scripted and fantastical Disneyland, the whole bullshit smoke and mirrors of Hollywood is.
Yeah. So I just thought that made it really entertaining because it's like, we're all here in a fabricated world where there are certain rules. And so in any story, when the characters don't play by the rules of the world, that's where conflict happens. And that's what makes it interesting. So just from sheer like storytelling and interest, these characters like decided to like break the format in a new way. And so I thought, and it's really sad. So the other reason I thought it was amazing was it's the most real life assimilation to dating that I think we've ever seen on this particular show, because that's what guys do. Like Johnny's like, it's cool. Oh, wait, you want to get engaged? I mean, dude, I want to hang out. Like, it's fun, but like, I'm not there yet. And Gabby had to say 3 times. She said, I could have written the speech. I'm in a place in my life right now where I'm in a place. She said it like 3 times. And he was like, well, I'm not. So I just thought that was epic. Like, there's so many men that like, they'll go until the woman makes a claim and then they're like, bye.
Until all the fun, in this case, free trips all around the world. And thanks for letting me hang out. What did he say? He said she was like, he's like,
she's dopest.
He's like, she's the dope chick. Like, she's the dopest chick ever. Yeah.
I know. Anyway, Jeremy and I were like,
Yeah, Jason too said something like, all of our days have been so much fun together. Or something like that. Like, it's been like the greatest, most fun days I've ever had. And it's like, oh, you're like, this has just been fun. You're just having fun here. You're not here.
Yeah. And But here's what I do. Okay, so now here's like what I don't like. Now we're gonna like make up our own stories. So okay, so Johnny is like, I give him credit. He's a player. He comes in as a player. He stays a player. He at least says I'm a player. Like in the afternoon, he doesn't wait till the evening. He holds the line. He's pretty direct. He leaves by he's out. But let's talk about Jason because I'm confused because she didn't say, and this is also I think real life. You know, like she didn't say that I'm in a place where this is what I'm looking for. She was like, well, what are you looking for? Maybe I could be, maybe, I don't know, because like you're hot and you're cute. And I think maybe I want to fix you. But like, then the doors close and he's like, nah, I don't even want to go out with you. What happened?
So yeah, this is the part that I think Chris and I disagree.
Yeah, we disagree on this.
Because I do agree that Gabby was not clear until this very moment at dinner that she wants an engagement, and then as soon as he's like, "Well, I don't want that," then she's like, "Okay, well, maybe I don't need that either." So she's already kind of being wishy-washy. But it is, I do feel like he must have known earlier. If he didn't even want to try to have a long-term or serious relationship, like she gave him the easiest path we have ever seen. She gave him a tennis date, the thing he is best in the world at, the thing he's most comfortable with. And then she's even like, I don't even need to get engaged. Like, I just want a serious relationship. And he's like, nah, I can't even give you that. Sorry. Like,
that's what was so confusing because like, I did hear him say like things like, so this is Chris and I, when we created the Manimals, one of them was quality casual, which hovers between the player. Right. And so Jason is like total professional, like player trying to be disguised as quality casual. Cause he's like, maybe this could build to something. Let's see how it goes. Maybe it could be a relationship. That is like quintessential crumbs, right? Yeah. Like, let me just keep you coming back for more. And so I'm like, wow, he's not even saying he loves her. He's not even saying, yes, I want to date you, which we saw Colton do with Cassie. Like, you know, they've been like, I'm not ready to get engaged, but like, I'll be your boyfriend. No. But what about it? Like, what? Was he always just did he always not like her? Or did something happen behind closed doors in the way that they had the conversation, in the way that they argued, in something that caused him to totally go off of her?
I got a theory. I think this situation or what she got herself in is a testament that all the viewers should listen up. This is exactly Gabby ended up eating her own cooking, which unfortunately we let our fears get in the way of not being lovable, not questioning whether or not she was lovable. So because of that, love is nourishing, right? Because of that, she accepted the crumb and she allowed herself to really savor and dine on each crumb and not ask more. And we talked about this in the other these other podcasts. And generally in life, most of the time, I think the woman is going to have to really get crystal clear on if she wants the long-term committed relationship, because men, we're not good at it. We're scared, whatever it is we don't want to do. We just want to keep going to Copenhagen and flying around and doing all these fun tennis dates. And being, a F3 finalist or whatever the vernacular is for being one of the final guys. And I think she ended up having to sleep in her own bed of vagueness. And between Emily and I noticed, I picked up on how vague he was and how he's constantly saying, "Oh, I was about to leave." He said it, babe. He said it like 8 freaking times.
Yeah, he said it
I was about to leave. I was like, he's telling you he's telling you how committed he's already in there, whether or not you got caught in your ears and you're not really listening. And then Gabby was agreeable. I'm like, oh yeah, well, I don't know if she even said that when she's hanging out with her Jason's sister / Gabby's future best friend about how, oh yeah, this is I'm not sure yet either. I just, I'd like to get in a relationship, but she wasn't crystal clear. And I think that we see the the commitment level differences between Rachel's guys who are almost like she's not even attracted to because they're so into her versus Gabby's guys who she's so attracted to because she's still trying to get them on the hook and they're still doing everything they can to avoid getting hooked. And in the end, I think, yeah, she's having to eat her own cooking and this is what she made.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point. Like if you're putting out there like the question of am I lovable? We've talked before, like she doesn't know if she wants to be a mom. Her insecurities leak. She doesn't, and she's saying that stuff to Johnny. Like, I don't know if she was really feeling it, but I think if you date with this guard up and this fear that people are going to leave you, you're going to get back people who leave you. And so, I mean, this is what happens. She's super hot. She's sexy. She's got the walk, The other thing I want to talk about with Jason, because I think this is really important, is he's fake emotionally available. She's like, he's so sensitive. And he's literally like, even when he like hugs her, he's like a robot. Right? Like he's like, yeah. Talk about this because he's saying the right words, like the woke words, the conscious words, but he's literally so freaking guarded. What do you guys think about that? What can our listeners look for to know like actually he's unavailable?
I mean, his face. Look at his face. Like there's
the whole cardboard thing.
Happening. It's really, really wild. And I think he's absolutely like avoidant because what is happening is and I'm giving him like a huge benefit of the doubt here. So if we believe that he was genuinely feeling feelings and did like her and did want to keep exploring things, then this is the most quintessential avoidant attachment thing ever, which is as soon as things start to get serious, it's the huge wall comes up and the kind of bullshit excuses and the emotion turns off and it's out the door. So I think, giving him the most benefit of the doubt thing ever, that had to be what happened.
Yeah. He was exactly. It was strange. Like you said, Marni, said he's saying the right things. Almost like if it's a script and you're reading it, that sounds great. But then you see the actor performing, you're like, whoa, there's no, so feckless. There's no emotion. There's no heart behind everything. And you're like, and it's almost, this juxtaposition when he's saying these things, like, what is going on? You memorize something to get out of the room and he freaking like broke up with her before she get broke up with him. That was a pretty gangster move.
He was like, oh yeah. And like, why did she even come by the next morning just to like get punched?
To get on camera, the producers had to get it. Yeah, they weren't going to get Eric and the thing. Yeah, Eric and Gabby got her first by sneaking off and making their little packs. They had to get it all on camera, I think, and made her march across.
I do want to say.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Well, if you want to keep going on Jason, I have another comment on the I'm unlovable.
Well, I want to just end this on Jason because it probably connects to what you're saying. Maybe is the other thing that Gabby does, which is I find really interesting, is you're pressuring me to Eric, and I just want to highlight how one experiences someone's behavior based on their own limiting beliefs. And I have to defend myself. I just have to say, when Eric comes and he's like, you're so cute, I want to kiss you, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, I just want you to know, like, it's really hard for me to know that you're like possibly hooking up with their guys. That's all he said. And she's like, I feel like you're pressuring me. You're giving me an ultimatum. Dude, he didn't say any of that. And they were both like overly took responsibility in the end. Like, why? He's like, oh, I did this wrong thing. And she's like, oh, he did this wrong thing. And in my opinion, that was just like him saying, duh, I'm jealous. And I really love you a lot. And I'm scared. Why can't he say that? Why is that? So she made up the story based on her own avoidant sabotage. Peace out. Let me fuck this relationship up.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I think that, we don't, clearly she has this troublesome past with her mom, and she talks a lot about how I had to change who I was to be loved, and I had to, do all these things to receive love by her. So Gabby has to have a very, very, like third degree burn level of sensitivity to feeling manipulated. And so I think that's what happened there. She saw the possibility that he might be trying to make her say something on camera, or like make a commitment, or make a promise or something that she wasn't ready to make. And in her mind, in her experience, that's terrifying and like a bad thing. Like, people are not allowed to do that to other people. When in this situation, it's much more nuanced. He's not making her make a firm commitment. He's just expressing like, this is really tough for me. Yeah, it's very different. But I think that's what happened with her.
I told Jeremy, their handsome husband, that all he was trying to say is that he likes his fiancées like he likes his coffee, without other men's penises in it. So
Exactly. And Jeremy was saying, and he was like, that is so like reasonable for him to say. Like, he did sign up for this silly game, but he gets to say, and notice like on Rachel's side, they're all saying that. They're like, I don't really like the idea that she was with other people. So I really want our listeners to understand is that when you're like, because you'll go to your friend and be like, can you believe he said blah, blah, blah. And, he made me feel blah, blah, blah. There is a 50% chance that you made up what he said based on your own limiting beliefs. Freaking Gabby is like a poster child for like what not to do in dating right now. And she was like my fan fave. Like, I loved her. I thought she was so funny and cute. Also, she's lost. That's all gone. Like, she's not taking it light. She's taking everything really seriously. And so and I get it. Like, they had 3 guys and now she's kind of got one. Okay. The last thing before we switch, because I know Dr. Emily has to go.
With that, I think I like what you said. I think you're pointed out, and this is great for, a lot of our listeners, is that she's so great at dating light, Lite, but but she falls. Remember, we're like, you were loving her. You're like, she's fun, she's flirty, she's quick-witted, and she just knows, she's so relaxed, and she doesn't need. She gave off that she doesn't need anything. But then when she takes it into that next the level gear, like now to commitment, that's when everything's kind of, her wheels are locking up.
I have a soapbox comment to make too about her I'm unlovable thing, because I think, and we can trace this back to Bachelor Ben. He was, I think, the first one to ever say, I have a fear that I'm unlovable. Yeah. And it like keeps coming up now. And it's a semantic issue, but it's an important semantic issue, which is, I have a fear that I am unlovable. It's not, I am unlovable. Yeah. The point is to recognize that is impossible. The point is to see that is your fear and recognize all humans are lovable at our most basic foundation. We are all lovable. We are all capable of being loved. We are capable of loving. So that you have to recognize, my fear is coming up that I am unlovable. And that means it's a fear. It's not true. Like, and she keeps saying it over and over as if it's a fact. And that's right. The stuff that we're talking about.
Absolutely. And so, before you go to Rachel, so in the end, she's like, well, I guess there's Eric. I don't know if he's the one. And then literally she goes to his room and she's like, you're the one. Oh my God, I knew it from the beginning. So do you think that Eric is just the last man standing? So she'll go for it? Or do you think he was always going to be the winner chicken dinner to begin with?
I think she wanted it to be Jason, and I think he's Eric is.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I do too because because Jason is a little broken, and she wants to coach him and bring him out, and that's like a challenge where she can feel superior. So that was her comfort zone. That because she had to pull love out of Jason, which is what she had to do with mommy. So it feels super, super comfortable.
Oh, that would have been the getting the love that you want. She would have completed her hero's quest by getting Jason to come out of his shell, be emotional, express his vulnerability, say, hey, I'm madly in love with you. I like that. I like that. Yeah.
Which is if you resonate with that, you can never win that game. And Eric, I mean, we've got some preview trailers of, Eric basically looks like he's gonna, bail as well. But on paper, he seems like the one who was the most into her. And I don't know if he was first pick, but now he's only pick. It did work out for Desiree and Chris way back when Brooks left and there was only one left. She was like, maybe it's Chris. And now they have like a million children and they're still together. So sometimes destiny chooses for you.
Interesting little theory that popped up in my head. The reason why Eric and her had such attraction despite her ability to date dash heavy versus date light was because of his tragic situation with his father in her RN experience. They were forced. He was forced to be extremely vulnerable, and it's something that she had been practiced at and skilled at in real life in showing the compassion and showing up. And so they were like forced on to really expose themselves and be there for each other and have this honest, vulnerable bond despite her fears of being unlovable. So he was able to kind of jump past her I am not lovable instead of her just kind of loving him and supporting him, and then him in turn opening up saying, oh, okay, remember I said a second ago how generally the woman, unfortunately, gals, you're gonna need to be braver than us most of the time. And then instead it kind of forced him he was already in this situation where he's watching his dad literally pass away. So forced him to really kind of fast forward. And then she played along and she started dancing in line and in beautiful harmony. And then they had what they had.
So we end this episode with like, we don't need a rose ceremony and I'm wearing a chain top and I'm so sexy and it's awesome.
What a chain top.
Gabby's outfit.
I was like, is that? And then he's hugging her and her face is like all smashed against it. The cameraman's like, whatever. Okay, let's talk about Rachel. Okay, so I'm going to coin Rachel Miss Face fake as fuck. Because literally.
Let's go. The internet disagrees. They're full of shit. I agree with you, Marni.
God. The minute she's the popular girl, she walks up.
The worst.
Oh my God, I have like these three amazing men. Thank you so much for being here. And when Jesse says Gabby isn't coming to the rose ceremony, she's like, oh. And I could, in my mind, her brain is like,
all you.
Finally, I'm the queen. I get to finally be the one and only Bachelorette. I will have my moment. I wanted to vomit. And then Zach basically is like, what happened in the fantasy suite? He's like, the woman that showed up there was not Rachel. So what do you guys think happened? Why do you think she started bringing up the like, are you sure you're ready for a relationship? I mean, you're only 25.
Yeah.
Why do you think she did that?
I love that. You're right. She's like, okay, contestant number 1. What is it? You love contestant number 2. And she 100% needs 3 contestants, or therefore she doesn't have the position versus just being honest and being straight up and doing this quasi trying to mind fuck this guy who's from the very beginning has been, I'm so into you. I can't wait to marry you. Let's just go fast forward. And then she just poor little brain or whatever. I love that you got that too, Marni, because the internet is like, stop being so mean to her. She's like, no. And then we started with Tino's family. It's just this weird, condescending, two-faced, like just saying what you're supposed to say but not meaning it. Ugh.
Yeah, I think with Zach, I can't really imagine why. Like, so it's pretty clear that she is not going to pick Zach. And it seems like she was setting up in the fantasy suite. Her reason for not picking Zach is going to be But why would she not just break up with him? Why go through this whole painfully awkward fake night? And we caught a snip of it in the morning. And it was super fake and super uncomfortable to watch them interact. And so if that's what he was experiencing all night, like, poor thing. And so, I agree with Zach. Like, why would you not just cut the cord and say, sorry, it's not you. My feelings are stronger with somebody else, and let the poor guy go. And it seems like he sticks around next week. He's in the trailers. So I'm flabbergasted.
I'm flabbergasted too, because then we see in the trailers her going like, how dare you misjudge my character. It's like, I'm like, no, you're being weird. I agree with you, Doctor. I'm like, I think that she's so traumatized from Clayton and like the way that she was manipulated. And she does say, this is a little harder than I imagined. I have 3 amazing men. I've told 2 of them I love them. Maybe 3. I can't remember if she told that to Zach or not. And she has no ovaries to just be direct and be like, you know what? You're amazing on paper. Like, I'm really sad. I wish there could be like Hannah Brown with Tyler C, right? Like, I really don't understand why I can't get there with you. It makes me really sad. But the truth is, I'm not there. Just say it instead of trying to set it up to sabotage it. And I liked Zach, like, as a person, you know, like, I think his character is pretty cool. Like, I think that he could have handled that. You know, I think that he could have totally been like, I totally get it. Like, and been sad about it.
He tried to hush her up with like, she was being, she started to be kind of like, could tell, be awkward or kind of calling out for being cringy, just doing mean things. And then he would like cover it up quick with, oh, I love you so much, or, oh, this is the best, or whatever. And he wouldn't really just sit there. And yeah, he was pushing his agenda, I suppose, as well. So you're right. He could have done a better job on that. My kind of hot takeaway from that is like, ladies, if you don't like him, don't keep him or fucking around as a life preserver or whatever. Because thinking that, oh, I'm trying to save his feelings because he's going to be hurt. Because in the end, you're going to be so goddamn mean to him. You're going to be poking him and stabbing him and fuck his old brain up. He's going to be crying anyway. Let's just get it over with. Make him, jab him once or twice, and then let him begin healing instead of doing it for weeks on end or another ceremony or whatever the poor bastard doesn't deserve. And be honest.
Yeah, and don't make an excuse
about him.
What happens if you make an excuse like, oh, you're too young? Then what could happen is the guy's like, actually, I'm not too young. I have all this life experience. Like, people, if they really like you, they will try to overcome the obstacle that you just placed in your relationship. So don't make an excuse. Like, if it's not there, just say it's not there. And I'm sorry and I'm sad about it. And I wish you the best. Yeah.
I love how she gave an excuse. There's nothing he can change about it, too. It's such a, you're 25. Okay, nothing I can do.
And he's like, she's 26 and I've been 25 pretty much the whole time. So that's weird.
Exactly. You've known I've been the same age your entire time when you were, what in the world?
Well, you know, Rachel goes into this, nobody likes me, everyone hates me, so I'll just take whoever likes me. And she does have 3 guys who are really into her. And now she's red and high. And just the way she walked in the room, like her energy, you and I, Chris, always talk about like, how it's your energy that is so palpable when you walk in the room. And those early rose ceremonies, she was wearing the gorgeous dress, but she looked like sad Sally. Like, and this time she walked in and she was like, I'm amazing. It made me want to throw up. So she wasn't direct. Now let's talk about Avon and Tino. You know, like, she's told both of them she loves them. She's basically done exactly what Clayton did to her, I think. And so what do you think? Like, what went down on those dates? Why, like, who do you think she's really interested in? I know she just wants everyone to fall in love with her. What do you guys think about where she ends at the end of these 2 episodes?
I mean, Chris and I kept saying this. We're like, it's Tino. Why don't just pick Tino? Like, it's obviously Tino. What are you doing? She is doing the same thing as Clayton. And I think it's because of this, again, fear, nobody likes me. So I better keep everybody around for as long as possible in case Tino bails. And now, look, she's completely repeating what Clayton did. There's no chance she's going to pick Avon.
Maybe on the same joke.
Tino leaves.
Because, Avon doesn't complete her hero's quest of nobody liking her, which is interesting about Tino, because Tino's parents aren't supportive of him, so she's got to, make sure everybody loves her. When she gets so sad with all these guys, and how dare one of them, not have a match with her, and made her brain melt where she was 100% allowed to do it. But to make sure everybody in the end likes her. So Tino's the family members are the final completion, 2 missing pieces of, yes, now I am the most loved.
Yeah. I do have to give Tino props. Like, Jeremy and I thought that his like, I love you speech was like pretty direct. He was like very articulate. It felt pretty significant. It wasn't super cookie cutter. And he had 100% been into her since the minute he kissed her on the stairs, way back when. And he's also been very confident. And he's been like, you're my person. And so I do agree with you that the fact that he has a little Romeo in it, like that she gets to be Juliet. Does the family approve? The Montagues, like
big flowy
I
dresses
think that,
with the giant shoulder pad, puffy stuff, and which he loves dressing up in. Yeah,
oh God, yeah. So, so I think it's gonna be Tino, but we don't. But they did. Okay, now
they're giving him a sweaty edit, Marni. Do you notice So I'm wondering, if they're gonna throw him under the bus in the end, and we're going like, oh my God, because you notice how they're giving him his fucking forehead's always beating up, and they're watching him drenched, and they're like, oh, and kind of a gross.
I know they gave Zach a little sweat pad. He was like using it. He's like, fuck. He's like, it's so hot. So then this was so insane. So the episode comes the thing and then we see Warner Brothers Studio. Jesse, I know you wanted to see the end of this. You need time to process it. You need to get ready, prepared for this like insane episode next week. And also we need to drag this out until September 27th because that's when Paradise starts. But oh my God, that was just like way, way, way too much, the ending. But they did show a lot of shit that's kind of insane. Like it looks like everybody bails.
It does. Yeah. It looks like it all falls apart, which is sad, I think. That's how it ends.
God, with two, double the odds. 0. They do a 2-girl and a 0. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's going to be great. Yeah, I'm guessing Tino's family doesn't co-sign or something like that, falls apart, and she gets super insecure and freaks out. Maybe she globs onto Gabby's energy too and gets scared. And
we don't
always say, choose your friends, Marni. Yeah, we don't need exactly. I remember you always say, be careful of choosing your friends, right? She is her best friend. She's doing this. Yeah, if Rachel gets dumped or Gabby gets dumped first, I wonder if we see that influence their stability and their security.
Well, I think you got to go. Peace out, Dr. Emily.
Hi, Dr. Emily.
Woohoo! Thank you for coming. We love having Dr. Emily when she can. So the last thing is like, I'm dying to know if Rachel actually can be a good, can she actually be a good friend to Gabby? Like, because now she's like, oh, I have 3 men. I'm sorry that you only have 0. That must be so bad for you. Anyway, I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille.
Yeah, I don't, I don't think, I think I said it last week, I don't think they'd be friends in real life. I think they're kind of, went through the struggle together. But yeah, IRL in real life, I think it'd be a different thing. And she's not gonna, it wouldn't work out.
So before we go, I want to ask you a question. So I crown Rachel, of all the bachelorettes that I've seen, the most fake as fuck. From a guy perspective, because you said you thought that right away. What is it? And then Zach says she's so inauthentic. That's his words. What about her? Or is it what she says? And what about her? Because she looks the part. She's beautiful. She's smart. What about, if you could say for our listeners, like, how can a guy know that there's something that's just not authentic, or you're full of yourself, or there's that energy that's just off, that it literally turned Zach off in an instant? And I think it's important that women notice this, because a guy can be really interested in you and one thing can happen. Like, ugh. So go ahead. What do you think?
All right. I was thinking, I was like, God, Marni, I don't know the answer. Yes, I do know the answer to that. God dang it. I remember when I first thought it was early on, for some reason during one of their rose date ceremonies, some little thing didn't go her way. And so she was so upset and about her, and made it about her, that she canceled on everybody. And
she canceled the date. Yeah.
All these nice guys I'm so worried about her. Sure hope she's okay doing all these things. I'm like, no, fuck that. She owes you at the very least. It doesn't have to be, even if it's not an apology, just instead of, she kind of came out there once and it was bratty, like, meaning that, like, you guys did something and I wasn't chosen. And she also, remember, she stormed out there once in her athletic gear, her yoga pants, and all that stuff. And she kind of told them, how dare you, I will never not be chosen, or whatever. Versus what you preach is feeling a certain way, sitting there, acknowledging it, and figuring out, well, what the heck it is you're feeling, and then just coming it out there without assigning blame to somebody and saying, holy man, I feel, I'm so sorry, I can't do this. I'm really feeling unloved today, or scared, or sad, or just not sexy. And because of that, I'm just not ready. It wouldn't be the best version of me. It's something I'm working with, whatever. And I think I know friends who do this in real life, but the guy is like 5 minutes late. They'll, because of traffic happens, and they text her and she's like, you know what? He must not care about me. Jump to some unlovable reason and say, you know what? This probably isn't going to work out. Or if he chooses a location these are real life things that I've had to smash my head against my gal
too. Yeah.
So I think those ability again quickly, like you said, going back to your old story about, I'm not the one. I guess I think hers is like, I'm not chosen, would maybe be her hero's journey, that she's trying to choose come and fit other people into that bullshit narration, instead of, like Emily said, I'm not chosen, versus I have a fear that I'm not worth choosing. And instead of constantly forcing everybody into that script, versus just pausing and saying, guys, this is my thing right now. This is what I'm feeling. And then given, like we say, when you're dating the right guy and he hears that, he goes, holy moly, I'm going to do everything I can to let her know that she doesn't have to worry about that fear. And we can address it when it happens, versus just assigning blame and bailing on the dudes. Like she did in some of those.
Yeah, she totally did. And I think the last piece that's important in this is that when you point a finger, there's 3 pointing back at you, they say, right? And we talked about Clayton falling in love with Clayton. I did it on purpose. Falling in love with the idea of people loving him. This guy who doesn't feel popular, who doesn't feel enough. The power of feeling like everybody wants you and how it makes you do stupid shit. And I think that for every little finger point that Rachel talked about Clayton a million times this season, she's doing the same thing, pointing it out in him, pointing it back in herself. This woman has such low self-worth that she is drunk on the power of being able to choose and being able to control and manipulate. And she's totally doing it. And I think that, I think that when you're not whole in yourself, you can come off as judgmental and cocky and manipulative and condescending, and wanting to win and all those sorts of things that get in the way of you having a healthy relationship, who you're attracted to, who you pick, how you show up for yourself, how you show up for that person. And I think it's the same thing as Gabby. What you are afraid of, what you talk about is what you will create. And she has turned into the female Claytonette.
Isn't that crazy, Marni? It's like it's such a dating cosmic tragedy that it's almost the first step in overcoming what you fear the most is dominating to the point, and then wielding it and getting drunk and lost in the sauce of having that power where she's the ultimate chooser and she decides, you come and you die and you continue on. And it's almost like this interesting transition that she almost has to make, and to become the man she loathes the most, Clayton, and she turned into like female Clayton. And now she's having to deal with the repercussions of doing, breaking another dude's heart. And good Lord. But then it looks like she blames it all on him and poor Zach in the end. So
Zach, you know what? I said to Jeremy, like, Zach's 25. I would be happy if he dated any one of my daughters. He seems emotionally intelligent. I hope we never see him again on any other Bachelor show. And I hope he just goes off like old Nate, who apparently turned down being Bachelor, and just go off and do your life and go back to your job that you had and and we never want to hear from you again. Speaking of which, though, if you do want to hear from Chris Gillis again, ladies, you have an opportunity to see him live at our Ignite Your Life event in October. The 12th, 13th, and 14th, he'll be on our man panel. So if you want to get tickets to that, it's a 3-day transformational event so that you do not do any of the shit that we're talking about on this show. It's IYLVIP.com. And Chris is going to be there with about 5 other guys telling the truth about what men think.
That's awesome. Where's it taking place?
It's going to be virtual.
Oh, okay. Well, then anybody and everybody better show up.
It's virtual, baby. I know he's like, he's like such a superstar. He's such a celebrity. Chris Gillis is like, just tell me where to show up.
Where am I flying into, baby? Let's go.
Where are you flying into? We're shooting it in the valley, as all good things are shot.
Yeah.
I'm really super excited for that event. We'd love to have our listeners come join us for that 3-day transformational event. It's IYLVIP.com. Chris, I'm super excited for next week.
I love your energy. I haven't seen you this jazzed up with all the evil and how they like sleep in their own bed. You're like, they fucking did exactly what I said, and you got to watch it all beautiful dumpster fire fall apart in it. And yeah, almost all of our predictions, and it kind of did turn out exactly how we predicted it based on not dating with dignity.
Yeah, exactly. What's funny is I'm on the East Coast, you're on the West Coast right now. So I was like 3 hours ahead of you. And I was like, I couldn't wait till today because I was like, I'm going to be asleep by the time they watch this. So I'm super glad that we got to talk about it. Ladies, oh my God, listen to this episode like 117 times. And like, do I do that? Do I do that? Damn, life check yourself. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now. Hey, thanks for tuning into today's show. So if being in an intimate relationship in which you feel 100% seen, heard, and accepted by a high caliber man is a priority for you right now, and you're interested in seeing if you're a fit for working with me and my team at Dating with Dignity, here's what I want you to do. Just head over to DWD VIP, that's D as in dating, W, D as in dating, VIP.com, and book a call to speak with my team. We'll get on the phone with you for about 60 minutes and you'll get crystal clear on what's stopping you from finding true love right now. We'll also take a look at what you want to create, what you want your whole life to look like when you're able to finally be fully expressed as a woman in a healthy relationship with an incredible guy. And if we can help you get from where you are right now to where you want to be, we will show you the fastest path possible that makes sense for you to do that. We help smart, successful women all over the world solve this one missing piece in their life so they can finally have it all. So to see if we can help you do the same thing, head over to DWDVIP.com. I'm Marni Batista, and let's talk soon.